Hi, yeah, so I'm just gonna do this rant thing that I have about something that I saw recently. It was a preview for what appears to be a remake of Evil Dead. I mean, it's taglined as Evil Dead. It had moments that were clearly reminiscent of both, you know, the original Evil Dead as well as Evil Dead 2. Um, a very recognizable cabin, which is, the staple of Evil Dead is this cabin thing. I mean, the third movie in the saga doesn't really feature that much because it's, you know, a fantasy film in medieval times, but we'll say that different topic, different time. Um, what I'm just gonna say is that this um, this movie doesn't need to exist and shouldn't exist. Um, and honestly, that's how I feel about a lot of remakes. Some of them, some of them. I like some remakes when they put a new spin on something, when it's an original take, which is my problem with horror movie remakes is that they're really not. They're just I guess they get termed reboots now, which is just you take something and you start it over again so you can make it again. You can make more sequels, and it's not like, oh, this is the 11th, Halloween movie. No, this is a reboot. This is the first one. Again, no. But I think the problem I have with this Evil Dead remake more than anything is that from what I saw, it really didn't go with what Evil Dead was about. I mean, um, Evil Dead is certainly a scary movie. There's no doubt about that. It's firmly rooted in horror, but it also has a very very heavy comedy element. Um, I mean, Evil Dead 2 is just it's up there with Dead Alive in terms of just funny horror movies. In fact, I'd probably rank it higher than that. Um, so I don't. From what I saw in the trailer, there wasn't any sort of hint of the Evil Dead flavor, the Evil Dead sort of general ethos that I'm used to, because I'm a big fan of Evil Dead. Um, and again, when I say this Evil Dead remake is something that shouldn't exist, I don't mean that I think it's going to be bad. I think it'll probably be just a decent horror movie. Um, but I think, why is that necessary when you have Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, which are very unique? And I think that's what getting back to my point originally, I think that's what a lot of horror movie remakes don't do is put a unique spin on what the movie was originally. I think it's just redoing it. But I think the Evil Dead remake, from what I've seen, does put its own spin on it, but it puts its own spin on it in a way that's just making it more in line with what horror movies nowadays are. And I think that's very contrary to the spirit of what Evil Dead is. Um, so I think it's actually losing originality and being less original than than the source material. So I say, why not just let there be, you know, Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, which are very unique and very highly regarded horror movies, for the possibility of just making another one. And it says from the producers of Evil Dead, of the original Evil Dead. So I'm pretty sure it's just, a way for them to make more money, because I think they've seen that as of recently that Evil Dead does make a lot of money. It's a cult film, and you know nowadays there is a huge demand for at least I mean huge demand industry wise in terms of producing reboots of horror movies. So I think they said, okay, it's our chance to do that and make money. That's why I think it's the producers of the original Evil Dead instead of the director Sam Raimi or anyone else. I think it's the producers who I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi is one of the producers of Evil Dead, but it doesn't say the director because it's not like he's redoing it. But yeah, I do think it's just a money making thing, which I think if there's one thing horror movies need, it's not a remake of something that was good just to make more money off of it. I think we need more original good horror movies. And why is this a thing? It could easily not be a thing. We could easily just watch the originals and be fine. Uh, yeah, not really ranty, just sort of rambling. Uh, if you actually think this is gonna be good, I'd like to hear why, because I honestly don't know why you think this is going to be a good, interesting thing to watch. Um, yeah, just yeah, that's really all I have to say. So bye. Watch Evil Dead again.